me vuelve loca tu lado salvaje. Tú me has dado tanto que he estado pensando, ya lo tengo todo. Pero, ¿y el anillo pa' cuándo?
Hi muñecas, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be attempting to create a look, which is the one I have on right now, that is inspired on Jennifer Lopez's look on, well, one of her looks on her new video, El Anillo, which I am obsessed. She can do no wrong, I swear to God. That lady is just amazing. I really look up to her. I adore Jennifer Lopez. I truly, truly, truly adore her. She's a boss. When I saw the video, I cannot help myself but just look at the makeup looks that she's wearing, or anybody. Whenever I'm watching a music video, I am always paying attention to the girl's makeup. I have no clue why, but I do have a clue. I love makeup. And of course, this video was not an exception. She was wearing amazing looks. She had like 3 or 4 different looks in the video. The one that really caught my attention, that was a little bit more outside of the norm for me. I'm always doing warm looks, bronzy looks, so I'm like, you know what, let's take it up a notch and create this look. I will put over here the screenshot of her video that I took, which was the inspiration picture. Many of you requested for me to create a blue eyeshadow look, so I was like, okay, this is my chance, this is my opportunity. Let me get inspired by the queen, La Reina Jennifer Lopez, and this is what I came up with. And of course, my hair, it's an inspiration on her look as well. I cannot stop touching it. I'm wearing extension, obviously, because my hair is really short. It really makes me want to get hair extensions and have long hair again. If you want to see this look inspired on the queen, J-Lo, then just keep on watching. Alright, let's get ready to glow. I'm going to start off with my dewy primer from Wet n Wild, and using my fingers, I'm going to be applying that all over the face. And then I'm going to continue with my Master Camo in Apricot from Maybelline. And with that, I'm going to correct my under eyes and make sure that the blueness and the darkness doesn't come through once I apply my foundation, which, by the way, I'll be using the one from NARS Radiant Creamy Foundation. I think that's the name, on Radiant Longwear, something like that. And I did mix it with a little bit of the primer as well, just to make it a little bit more thin and more glowy than it actually is already for me. And then for the eyes, I'm going to begin by priming them using my paint pot in Soap Ochre from MAC. And as you can see, I just apply it all over the lid, and I also utilize that to kind of like clean up my brows as well. Next, taking this 39B palette from Morphe, I'm grabbing the white shade, and with that, I'm highlighting the brow bone and setting that base. Next, I'm picking up this palette from MAC and using the Shadow Saddle, and I think the other one is Vanilla. I started warming up the crease a little bit, not too heavily. I just want something like a wash of color so that when we apply the blues, it kind of blends into that, like almost as my skin tone, as you can see there. Next, from the same 39B palette, I'm taking the lightest blue on the palette and starting mixing it first with the white to make it even lighter, so that is like the first shade into the crease, but then I begin working just the blue by itself so that I can start creating that gradient effect. So windshield swiper motion, going from the beginning of the crease all the way to like the tail of my brow bone, and just make sure you blend there until your fingers hurt, literally. Next, I'm going in with that kind of like, I don't know, it's a darker blue, the one right above that one, and I'm applying that one a little lower using the same windshield swiper motion. Get ready, just pick up any blue eyeshadow that you have and start creating that gradient. The lighter color goes first, higher up into the crease, and then the darker the color, you're gonna bring it down. So I'm just mixing as many blues. I picked up all the blues. Look, another blue. That one is from the Electric palette, and once again, I'm using the same windshield swiper motion. Every time that I switch blues, I am dropping a little bit, like I'm getting the color a little bit lower. And this is what creates the gradient. This is what makes it look clean and more professional. And here I'm coming in with the brush that I used to apply the first transitional shade and just going around the edges to make sure that everything is nice and blended. I'm taking this kind of like royal blue from the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palettes, and this time I'm going to be using a flat shader brush, and I'm packing that on the outer lid, but it was a little bit too bright for me, so I went in with a little bit of black. I was kind of like alternating in between, like a little bit of black, a little bit of blue, just to give it the right depth that I was looking for. And then once you get that color where you want it, just take a clean blending brush or the brush that you were using for the other blues and begin like bringing it slowly into the crease, but not all the way through, so just like to the middle of the crease. Now another blue, that one from it's a little bit lighter, from the Electric palette. I decided to apply it all over the lid. So as you can see, I'm using my 242 brush from MAC and just applied it up to where it meets the black and the blue there. And then again, I took the other blue from the Jaclyn Hill palette, the lightest one there, and just gave it a little bit more brightness. And to make sure that everything is nice and blended, one more time, I go in with a very, very light transitional shade and blend out around the edges to make sure that everything looks nice and clean and doesn't go up too high to the brow bone. Then as you can see, I did have a little bit of fallout. I used many different eyeshadows, so I had to remove the concealer and clean out my under eye, so I did that off camera again. And then I went back to the eyes and took this grayish silver shadow from the Electric palette and applied it right in the center, but it was not what I was looking for. On the video, it looks like she has something light going on, like a highlight in the center. So I went back to the champagne shadow from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I think it did it for me. It really gave me a little bit of like more brightness, but kept the intensity of the blue. So I applied it first with my fingers, and then I'm going in with the brush right over it to make sure that it blends in and it's all like melted together. So once again, I'm going in with the other brush and just blending around the edges. You guys, you need to go back and forth between your brushes. That is the key for your looks to look clean and nicely blended together. And once again, I'm here applying a little bit more of that super light shade around the edges to blend out even more. So now here I am correcting my under eyes and brightening them. I am using the Double Wear Concealer from Estee Lauder. I use it in warm medium. And I'm applying that first like as a triangular shape right underneath my eyes. And then with a Maybelline H Rewind, I'm brightening things up a little bit, like more in the center, like trying to bring anything that I want to bring forward, like the bridge of my nose, my chin, my forehead. And then I went right over the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer as well, just to make it a little bit brighter because this one is lighter in tone. So now let's blend that all together. And I decided to contour my nose using a cream contour and just make them a little bit more snatch, as you can see. And then I'm going to use the concealer to kind of sort of help me blend out the nose contour. And of course, Dylan has to be in most of my videos, so he just wanted to touch my hair. He was curious. Anyhow, now I'm just powdering under my eyes and setting that concealer. I'm using the Coty Airspun in extra coverage, no, translucent extra coverage. Yeah, and I'm applying that in the center of my forehead, bridge of the nose. And I also decided to cut my cheekbones, even though I didn't apply my bronzer yet or my contour, but that way when I apply my contour, it looks really nice and sharp and I don't have to like bake after. So for me, it works the same, but you know, some people do it backwards. On my under eye, well, not the under eye, on my lower lash line, I first apply a black liner on the waterline, and then I'm going in pretty much with every blue, as you can see there, like the darkest one on the outer part of the eyes, and then the lighter the color closer to the inner corners of the eyes. And then I took a little bit of the champagne shade and highlighted my inner corners of the eyes and also the brow bone for an extra pop. I think I forgot to mention it, but I did apply some false lashes off camera. Those are the double wispies from Ardell, and now I'm just applying some mascara to my lower lash line. Now I'm just going to move on to contour. Jennifer Lopez is known for her snatch face, so we're going to be contouring the face, the forehead, and make it look very nice and bronzy. So as you can see, I'm taking my time here. And then I'm going to be using this MAC bronzer, which has a little bit of shimmer, and I'm going to be using it as my blush instead of actually applying a blush because I don't think she had any blush going on. For highlight, I'm going to be using the Amrezy and Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter, which I adore. It's very golden, so it really reminds me of JLo. And then I'm just removing the bake over here. And now let's set everything in place using my all-nighter from Urban Decay. And moving on to the lips, I'm using this black one from Kat Von D. I'm not for sure on the name, but it's the only black one that she has, I believe. So I'm applying that all over the lips. And then I wanted to give it kind of like a bluish hint to it. So I went back into that blue from the Electric palette and I apply it right in the center. And then I took an eyeshadow brush and I just blended it around the edges so it can kind of look like an ombre effect. And that is it. That is the final result. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, that you found it fun, that if you don't want to recreate it, at least find it fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. ¿Y el anillo pa' cuándo?